What is the sum of all values of m that satisfy 2m squared minus 16m plus 8 equals 0? To answer this question, we need to find what the values of m are, and then if there is more than one, add them together, and that would be our answer. Here, we're dealing with a quadratic expression, and our knowledge of the quadratic formula would come handy. So before we go to the formula, let's first simplify. We can see that there is a common factor 2 in all three terms of the trinomial 2m squared minus 16m plus 8. So once we pull 2 outside of the brackets and factor it, we should get inside the brackets m squared minus 8m plus 4. Considering that 2 times our trinomial inside the brackets equals 0, it means that the quadratic expression inside the brackets, m squared minus 8m plus 4, also equals 0. Now that we've simplified our original equation, it would be a little easier to apply the formula, the quadratic formula. Let's look at it in the right corner and apply it to our current problem. So what we get is minus 8 plus minus square root of minus 8 squared minus 4 times 1 times 4 divided by 2 times 1. I use coloring to make reference to the formula in the right bottom corner. And if you take your time, you should be able to see how it all works. Let's continue with the simplification. Minus times minus 8 ends up being a positive 8. We keep plus minus, square root. Minus 8 squared would be 64. Minus 4 times 1 times 4 would be minus 16. Divided, 2 times 1 equals 2. At the next stage, we get 8 plus minus, and square root of 48, which is the result of 64 minus 16 over 2. At the next stage, let's try to break down 48 into two factors, one of which would give us a number that we could take out of the radical. And the one that we can probably notice is 16. 16 times 3 equals 48. As we move on, we get 8 plus minus, and square root of 16 equals 4. So 4 steps outside of the radical. And then we still have square root of 3 underneath the radical divided by 2. And now looking at it, seeing that we have divided by 2, and we have outside of the radical numbers 8 and 4, we can factor 2 out in the numerator. And let's do so. So if we factor it out, then what we get is 4 plus minus 2 square root of 3. And then now we can simplify and cancel out 2, both the numerator and the denominator. And our final look is 4 plus minus 2 square root of 3. We have patiently simplified here throughout the process. But if you were solving and at some point maybe you missed a certain simplification, you could certainly catch up at a later stage and still get to the appropriate answer. So don't feel stressed if you couldn't notice one of the opportunities to simplify. In the end, if you don't make any mistakes, you should be able to catch up and still fix this at a later stage. Now we're able to see that our two solutions are 4 plus 2 square root of 3 and 4 minus 2 square root of 3. And now let's refer back to the question that we're asked. What is the sum of all values of m? Our value number 1 is 4 plus 2 square root of 3. And we need to add to it the second value, which is 4 minus 2 square root of 3. We can simplify, and plus 2 square root of 3 and minus 2 square root of 3 cancel out. And our answer is 8. We can find our answer as the answer choice D, the correct answer.